Welcome to the Gary Abbott YouTube channel. Hey, I'm glad you're with me today. I want to talk a little bit about the villages in July. What was it like? What are some of the things I do in a given day? I'm kind of loading a bunch of stuff into this video because I just want to tell you life goes on. I want to, people talk about the villages and they give you, the top 10 things to do, or they give you the something happened. Well, a lot's happened, but I don't need to make big stories out of it. I just want to kind of tell you, life here in the villages is not perfect. You still have things that happen to you. So today I hope to cover a little bit of my home ownership incidences that have happened, not just necessarily what just happened this past month, but what's happened in the past, something that I've never talked about. I want to talk about the hot weather. It's just been really, really hot. I won't say unbearable, but hot. The other thing I want to talk about is kind of my itinerary, what I have found comfortably doing. And it will surprise you because it's like clubs. I haven't joined any clubs. I haven't done anything. So I will tell you what I do that fills my time. And it seems like I have no time, or I'm exhausted by the end of the day every day. So kind of like a vacation that you do a lot. And then I kind of want to go through. That's my wife calling. I gotta pause. I'll be right back. So let's start with home ownership. Even if you're part-time or you're here all the time, things happen. And I will give you a couple years ago, I got a phone call while I was in New England from my lawn mowing company, which I will remain nameless. And they accidentally cut the line from the AC unit to my house in the heat of the summer. So I had to coordinate it with my AC company, the lawn mowing company. They took care of it, but it was costly. It was costly for them because the AC line that they cut, they had to replace this whole line. It's about $1,200. So that happened. Then another time while I was gone, my neighbors, I don't have this. My neighbors like these rock garden things around their house and rock edging. Well, that can be disastrous for your neighbor, which I'm the neighbor. Because the mowing companies, whether it's their mower, my mower, when they hit some of those rocks, they go smashing into the side of the house. So one year I had to have my vinyl siding repaired. Cost me some money. I didn't know which lawn mowing company did it, but I had it hit. And so far, I've never mentioned those in my videos. So this time I came, and I was kind of like, everything's going to be fine. There's no problems. I actually didn't walk around the house for a few days. Big mistake, big mistake. And nobody told me. My air conditioner unit, they have a drip, a PVC pipe that comes out of the house that drips when your AC condenser unit, it drips water and it comes out. And nobody told me, and somebody knocked it off. Knocked it off. It wasn't a big deal, but I'm sure it's a mower, a storm, something knocked it off. It was on the ground. Picked it up, put it back, and was like, glad I came walking around. Got around to the other side of the house, and I'll show you a picture here. The lawnmower had taken and totally obliterated my sewer drain cap. Now the sewer drain cap has got like a little top on it. Well, they just whacked the heck out of it, crushed it, wrecked the pipe that was below it that it screws into, which is another cap on top of the pipe, just was totally gone. I saw some remnants of pieces, but the bigger pieces weren't there. I don't know, my neighbor picked up and was doing his mowing. I don't know how long it was gone, but I was like, why didn't somebody tell me on that one? Now this is where I kind of go like, okay, I do hire people to look around my house, so I take it they don't walk around the house. So I was like, another year, another issue. Now, it was easy for me to go to Home Depot, get a cap, get another cap that was a little similar to what I had. I did that quickly as kind of like, it always feels like an emergency. I don't want an open hole. I don't want animals going in there. I don't want snakes. I don't want any of that stuff to happen. I did go on Amazon and found a cap that doesn't have the extra inch on top for the knob that kind of you can use to screw the cap on and off. It had a cap that had a recessed screw part, so it would be flat with the ground, less likely to be hit with a lawnmower. That was my goal. So don't think for a minute that you're getting away by coming to the Villages, that stuff doesn't happen to your property. Now, I know other people have had, they have their lanai with the glass windows put in, and they get a rock thrown at them from a lawnmower that breaks the window. So just keep all that in mind. Another homeowner thing, once my lawn, I had a section that wasn't doing so well. So I had to put in some, I think it's called black cow. It's kind of like a manure, and then you got some plugs for the type of grass I had, and it came in great. But it's right around the sprinkler. You had to do a bunch of stuff. So there's stuff for you to do as a homeowner. You just don't move here and all that outdoor stuff maintains itself. You got to keep checking on it and maintain it. And that's just my outdoor stuff. I've had very little inside stuff that has happened, but I just wanted to do a fair and honest view for those of you interested in the Villages, that even if you get a new house like I have, over time you still got items that you got to check on, make sure. You should walk around your house, especially if you have paid people who mow your lawn and you're not here. If nobody tells you, that's kind of a little bit of a problem. So it did kind of upset me a little bit. Number two, I want to talk about the extremely hot weather this year. I like hot weather. I've always come to the Villages in the summer. Believe it or not, I come in the summer and everybody's like, oh, it's too hot. Usually is not, because usually what happens is a typical hot day and then it rains in the afternoon. The rain somewhat cools it off. Sometimes it's a little longer rain, sometimes it's a quick shower. But that's been my experience. This year, since I got here, it has not done that rinse and repeat mode. It has been consistently hot. I think out of 10 days, I only had 2 days of rain. One day was a very powerful rainstorm, 1.5 inches, but the other day it was just a quick shower, moves in and out. Kind of like what I remembered from a lot more frequently. I don't know if the locals are noticing it, but I noticed it. And that means these 98-degree days, 100-degree days, the feel-like temperature is about 110. Yes, 110. So anytime from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock, it's hot. It really is hot. So doing work outside or doing stuff, I'm kind of like putting off some stuff till it's cooler. Now today is the first day that we had to have a lot of overcast, and it's not the 110 feels like temperature. But of course, I'm inside now doing my video, so I'm not going out there. But I just thought I would relay that life in the Villages isn't all clubs and doing things. So that led me to the next item that I kind of want to put in this video. I did a video on itinerary. And so I kind of wanted to go through, because people sometimes ask me, like, I think they get the impression I don't do anything all day, or they don't really understand the villages. Like, okay, it's hot. Do you just stay in, watch TV? What do you do? Today's the first day I think I've been home most of the day. Well, I'm already into the afternoon and I've been here. But this is a typical day. And nothing's typical. It's not standard one. When I was going to do itinerary and I was going to show you, like, oh, what I did in one day. Well, the problem is every day is different. Let me explain that. It is different like this. Okay, one day, this week, I went for a walk. I thought I'd get out there early, 7 o'clock, no later than 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I should have got out there at 6 o'clock at the heat, but I did my walk. I do about 4,000 to 6,000 steps. It's almost 3 miles sometimes. My skin was soaked. My shirt was soaked. Some days I'd gone out early in the morning in my golf cart and I saw other people all soaked. And I get it. It's hot. So putting in the walk. But usually after putting in the walk, I end up coming home. Then I decide I'm going to the pool. And the pools usually have been a good thing, because if you go in the morning early, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, you beat any crowds that are going to go during the heat of the day. And the pool's usually a little bit cooler. By the end of the day, it's warmed up. Now, I took a temperature and it was 87 degrees in the pool. And this was after the big rainstorm of 1.5 inches. And the pools usually cool off a little bit. But I like the pools because I get to meet my neighbors and friends. We chat. I get caught up on the local, what's happening, the villages and their health insurance and what's happening, and, what company's going to take them over, their Chapter 11. You hear all about that stuff. You hear about the pool's going to be chilled in the future. Are they going to do the sports pools? A lot of this stuff, it's just really local conversations. But I also learn about new restaurants that are opened up, good restaurants, bad restaurants, some that are shaky, like one day they're good, one day they're not so good. But I mix it up. I don't want to say they do that every morning, because some mornings, okay, I decide early in the morning, instead of my walk, I go to the driving range to do golf. And I do my thing at practicing golf, and then I drive back home, and that's usually when I decide, okay, I'm going to go to the pool, or I'm going to go, you got other stuff to do, like doing those repairs. You got to go to Home Depot, get the parts, back and forth. So your day gets filled up. The afternoon, it's usually lunch. Am I going to eat out for lunch? One day I went to Kumo. I love their seafood yakisoba. I love that. I guess I go there for lunch and get that. Some people told me they go to Hooters. They play some golf, and then for lunch they go to Hooters. Or I come home, make a sandwich, do whatever I'm going to do for my own lunch. That usually leaves afternoons. It's the heat of the day. So if you haven't done the pool, you might go to the pool. But you also start to consider some of the other stuff to do. Oh, and sometimes for lunch, I contact some of my friends in the villages and we meet at Sawgrass or someplace else for lunch, and we do that. But then the afternoon, sometimes I catch up on news, I do that kind of stuff, but then come later afternoon. Now, the squares have been closing down, so I don't have this option, but this is usually what I do. I take the golf cart, go get the mail, or I go to a square or an entertainment at Sawgrass or someplace like that. And that's where I'm deciding where am I going to have supper? Am I going to eat at home, or am I going to one of these squares? Like last night, I will give you last night. I decided to go to Brownwood. And I figured I'd see what entertainment they're doing, but I think I'm going to go get my favorite French dip sandwich at McAllister's. So I'm kind of solving a couple of things all at once. I'm having supper, and I get to catch what's happening at the town square. And I'll show you, this is what was going on at the town square. And they were having fun. There's no doubt they were having fun. But it seems like I'm totally busy. Now, I have a watch. When I go walking, it records I have a Garmin watch that it records how many steps, how far I've gone, what's my route, all that kind of stuff, what's my heart rate, all of that. And I have noticed, unlike back home when I'm not doing as much as I do here, so I have this Garmin watch. It's pretty plain, and as you can see, I haven't worn the watch today, and it will flash up, 35 steps, what I just did running back to get it. But it's a Garmin watch, hitches up to my phone, and it lets me know my body battery. Well, my battery, I don't think I've ever reached this low almost every day. It starts out with like you're at 70 body battery, and supposedly as you get tired, your energy's going down. Every day I was checking it when I was wearing this watch. My body battery was all the way down to 5. It means you're totally exhausted. And I would be going to bed early. That's one of the things that happens here. I don't know if it's the sun. I don't know if it's just being out in the open air. Definitely you get a much better tan when I'm down here. So my body battery goes way down. I end up going to bed early, just totally exhausted, which you end up waking up early, which allows you to get out to the walk before the sun is fully beaming. But that's a typical day. And I just wanted to relate to you, the other stuff doesn't go away. You still got to do your laundry. You still got to clean your house. You still got to do other stuff that maybe you just take for granted. It's not like fun and games all the time. So I wanted to do this. It was really out of somebody's comment in one of my last videos said, Gary, you do you. And I love that comment because that's kind of what I do every day. I know he was talking about the videos and whatever I was doing, or I'm going to go play golf and taking golf up, but it applies to more stuff. It applies to everything that you do here. And the surprising thing is, one of the major points I bought in the Villages was all of the clubs. All of the clubs that the Villages has available. Well, again, not being full-time, I haven't joined any clubs. I just haven't. Now, I do I do the activities. I will golf and do that kind of stuff. But a lot of that is like your individual sports. And I guess that helps me a little bit stay more in shape than just doing none of those things. But I really believe now in, and I never did before, getting in the walking, but I have found it much more difficult with the temps. But I also have felt just being outside, the energy used with it being so hot, you definitely. And I got to fit in my shopping, and this week I'm going to definitely go to the Costco opening. So there's definitely going to be things for me to do that are not in the typical go to the pool. I'm going to tell you something. I really had trouble. Middle of the afternoon, people are playing pickleball. I don't know how they do it. I know I would probably not make it for the 2 hours that they're playing, but those people are out there playing. They're athletes. Hopefully they slow down a little bit and drink plenty of water, but they're doing it. So there's still plenty of things to do. It isn't like everybody's hibernating. They're still out there riding bikes and doing all the things. But that's the uniqueness of the Villages when you're retired. you get to do you. That's a good thing. You get to do you, whatever that is. So I thought I would make this video. I know I've got a couple other topics that are going to come up. Some are not going to be interested, but I'm going to do a little bit more on my golf adventure and a gadget I got and a gadget that didn't quite make it. And the market report should be out next week. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. It's more important that you just watch these videos. Thanks again.